Welcome back to the night of the unexpected. It is every year in the Winston, and that man right there, Frank Stoddard, has us all still shaking our heads for the brilliance of his move.
Yeah.
Pit before the start-finish line, pit on the last lap. All you have to do is come across the line, never mind get up to speed, and that's why this is the 7-Eleven pit move of the century. Never mind the night.
That's right.
Slurpees all around. What do you say?
Awesome. He's making his mandatory green flag stop. He had to move about 100 yards, and he completes lap 40 in second place.
At 45 miles an hour.
There's the cars on the racetrack crossing the start-finish line. Here's Jeff Burton crossing the start-finish line right there.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's called a very fine reading of the rules and the white space in between each line.
Yes, the gray area.
Gotta love it. Dick Berggren.
Well, we got a pile of crew members underneath Jeff Burton's car. I'm going to see if I can get through him here to talk to Jeff. Jeff, how bad is that clutch?
Well, it's pretty bad. We're hoping that just the throwout bearing has somehow or another gotten where it's engaged in the clutch. If that's the case, we can bleed all the fluid out of it, and I can just not use the clutch. And they have to push me off pit road, but I don't need the clutch from then on anyway. So if that's what the problem is, we'll be okay.
How about that move by your crew chief?
Yeah, we sat down yesterday and looked at that thing and said, man, that's a no-brainer right there. So we were afraid that somebody'd ask the question in the driver's meeting, but nobody did. So we planned to do it the whole day, just tried to make sure we stayed out of trouble. And, you know, had the clutch not been slipping, we would have won the thing. I mean, we were going so slow there at the end, we would have won it. But, you know, that's a smart move by Frank. Because, you know, this is a great race team. We're just having a little trouble right now.
And the word is team to Matt Yoakum.
And Dick, Jimmy Johnson trying to join Dale Earnhardt Jr. as rookies who win here in the Big Money Winston. Jimmy Johnson, I think you'd rather be lucky than good tonight.
That's it, Matt. You know, tried to get some positions on a restart. Got into it with Elliott, and I cut a left front down, and the way the deal cycled out with a green flag pit stop, it worked out in our favor. We got a great hot rod. It was really loose. We worked on it and have a good car, but track position's everything like it is these days, and it's pretty cool to win with the Lowe's Monte Carlo. Power of Pride on the side at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Hopefully we can win the big check at the end.
Now, you guys have tried to get the loose out of it. How much of the loose is out, and what are you guys going to do to it to get this car totally right?
We've made some huge changes in the car, and it only responded about 60-70% of what I needed. So the track's really looser than we expected. It just seems really cold, and like the tires are like hard and it won't grip right now. So we're just trying to tighten it up with some wedge. Took a spring rubber out of the right rear, and Chad's working some magic over. We'll be in good shape.
They already have one $50,000 deposit slip, now looking for $800,000 more tonight. Mike?
$50,000 to lead the first segment. $15,000 to Jeff Burton and Frank Stoddard, and $7,500 for third, Bill Elliott, in that first segment. So, Larry, they're limited as to what they can do here now during this break.
I mean, it's pretty much normal pit stop procedures, but it's the only time in the year where we have timeout. It's a 10-minute timeout. But what you have to be careful, Darrell, before, when you knew you was going to be there for the entire race, you could try something here because you knew you had another break coming. But you can't try anything because there's 20 cars in 30 laps. There'll only be 10 cars.
Yeah, that's what would worry me. The driver has a tendency to overreact. Oh, I'm loose. And the crew chief has a tendency to say, okay, we'll fix it. And you do too many things, and your car's junk. And that's what you got to be careful of.
Here's how they run.
Little Matt there. That's Mark's son.
After segment one, his dad is fifth behind Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Burton, Bill Elliott, and Jeremy Mayfield. Here's the rest of the top 20, all of whom transfer to segment two.
And we'll only have one page after this race.
That's right. So that eliminates Ward Burton, Steve Park, Mike Wallace, and the four cars in the garage, Marlon Hamilton, Jarrett, and Wallace.
And no more pit stops. Just hard racing, 30 laps, 10-minute break, and then 20 green flag laps.
NASCAR on FX is brought to you by UPS, official delivery company of NASCAR. We want to race the truck. People love the truck.
Well, what haven't we done tonight?
Don't tell me that
Pep Boys Trivia.
Oh, boy.
One driver won the Winston back-to-back.
Oh, gosh, that's not fair for me to answer.
Well, then you're out of it. It's between Waltrip and Hammond.
Wait, who is it? Dale?
What do you mean, who is it?
1991, 1992, the second consecutive of it was the first time under the lights here.
Came across backwards in the wall. Driver couldn't go to victory lane.
It's his driver right there, Davey Allison.
Davey
Allison. Yep. You'll never forget that, will you, Larry?
No, sir.
Nobody that was here will ever forget that.
Before that race, the races leading up to that, we were wrecking, winning. That night, we figured out how to do both at one time.
It's almost like this pit stop. It's one of those deals that goes down, and it's incredible about this race.
Yeah, you know, the NFL has the flea flicker gadget play. There's the hidden ball trick in baseball, and Frankie Stoddard and Jeff Burton and the crew there have come up with, what would you call this, the creative pitting? Or
again, it's pit strategy. All weekend long we've been talking about these teams, the pit crews, and the way everything kind of communication goes into it. It's the ultimate short pitch, you might say. It really worked out well in their advantage, and I really commend them.
If Darrell was your driver, he'd say, why didn't we think of this? Why didn't anybody else think of this, Jeff?
I think it was kind of like one of those deals that was out in left field, and believe it or not, Frankie has a lot of times, he spends a lot of time out there in left field, so I think that's probably where he came up with it.
I want to get a thought on if you think NASCAR is going to make a change for next year, as Darrell indicated. They're going to roll the cars here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to get ready for the next phase here, which will be 30 laps, 20 cars advancing here. We'll be back a night at the Winston, NASCAR's All-Stars, live on FX. FX, glad to have you along with us. A special night, All-Star Weekend at the Winston. And the first of the 90 laps in the Winston, the 40-lap segment run. Jimmie Johnson, the rookie in his first Winston, riding up with the victory. 27 cars starting out. Some problems early for Steve Park on lap 6. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. just does get by. Had to get by another incident later on lap 15. Watch closely as Sterling Marlin tries to signal, tapped from behind by Ward Burton. 4 cars taken out, including Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace. Since lap 11, Jeff Burton takes the lead, and with some creative pit stopping, if we can call it that, required green flag pit stop, he ends up surviving to win, Jeff.
Well, what they did, Frank Stoddard and come up with the idea that, hey, start-finish line extends all the way across pit road, and they knew all they had to do was get across that start-finish line to meet the requirements that NASCAR had set. Now,
and when I say to win, obviously to finish second
and transfer into the main to the second round.
And do you think briefly that NASCAR will make an adjustment on this rule for next year?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go back upstairs, get ready for the next run. 30 laps in segment 2, and rejoin Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy.
Now, I said at the end of that segment, our scoring monitor showed 41 laps, and let me explain that. 40 laps is the distance, but rather than wave the caution and have drivers racing to the caution flag, they let the field come through on lap 40. Scoring is frozen at that point, and then as they come around on the next lap, they wave the caution. That lap is erased, and we restart after 40 laps. 40 laps complete, and here's the rundown. Jimmie Johnson, who had trouble early, came out a winner. Jeff Burton with that late stop. Bill Elliott and Jeremy Mayfield also made early pit stops. Mark Martin had a fast car, but maybe the wrong timing on his stop. Craven, Gordon, Busch, Rudd, and Junior, the top 10. Only 20 cars left. Here are the rest. Gordon, Kenseth, Harvick, Waltrip, Sadler, Labonte, Stewart, Nemechek, Labonte, and Newman. But when 30 laps are done, there won't be as many as there are right now.
Business is fixing to pick up.
Right. No pit stop here.
Thank the good Lord.
Right. Half the field will disappear after 30 more laps.
This is right here what is the most critical thing. Pit stop in the first segment, most critical. The start. Right. Get launched out of here, get going, and don't let anybody catch you.
But 10th place right here is doubly important. Not only is it the bubble, the last transfer spot, if the fans on NASCAR.com voted like we think they did, 10th place will also be the pole sitter in the final segment. So 10th goes to the pole, probably 11th goes home. That's where the battle will be.
Better believe it will be.
I don't think we have to worry about up front.
But you're right, Darrell. You get a good start here, you jump out there,
baby.
You'll be gone.
Launch it.
I don't think there's enough boogies for this.
I don't either.
Let's go.
We've got all the boogies we'll have tonight. It's down to business now.
Pace car off, 30 laps.
This is the segment I've been wanting to see right here.
Yep. 30 laps, half the field goes home. Green flag.
Jimmy Johnson.
Burton can't go. He's pulling up out of the way.
Remember, he's got the clutch problem.
He took off though, Larry. I think it's terminal.
Yeah, he's got a big problem. He's going to go all the way to the back.
Yeah, he took off. He launched out of there pretty good. I thought he was going to be okay, but then I think it must have let go on him.
But you know, if that clutch is slipping, you know, the RPMs is running up. You know, we heard him earlier, I think, talking about 9,500. That's probably what was happening. The motor was revving up that high.
The battle is for fourth. Gordon and Mayfield.
Boy, side by side down in the first turn makes me really, really nervous. The guy on the inside has got his hands full. Boy, Mayfield is really pinching that 24 car down as they come off turn 2.
Ricky Rudd on the bubble after 1 lap. 10th place.
The 17 car's in the transfer spot, and he wasn't very good in that first segment. He fell way back there. His car looked like it was really loose.
Well, Robbie Gordon in the 31, he was up there in about 8th or 9th. He got loose, I believe, and had to move all the way up. Here's a battle for second. Mark Martin, Bill Elliott.
And now it's Michael Walker.
Oh, here we go, going around.
On the bubble and a crash in turn 2.
21 car.
Elliott Sadler. Caution is out.
Boy, it looked like he went in there high on the outside. I don't know if he got any help or not.
Look at him race into the caution. Remember, this is no holds barred.
You got to come to the flag, baby. This could be, you never know.
Second pack.
New race to the caution.
That crew chief's got to be hollering at that driver. Go, baby. Don't let up now.
That was a wad right at the flag.
It looked like Talladega, the finish at Talladega.
It's going from about 180 to about 60 miles an hour in about 50 yards.
Now, how Robbie Gordon this mess out?
Robbie Gordon is right now the number 31 in the 10th position.
It's the great thing about computer scoring.
I love that.
Thank goodness.
Be here all night trying to figure out who was ahead of who. And never would make anybody happy.
There's Gordon. There's the green arrow denoting he is in 10th place as they came across the line.
I don't know what's going on there between.
Well, right now he's in 11th because Michael pulled up alongside him, but the computer, which is unofficial, but it says that Michael is 11th and Gordon is 10th.
I think he and Michael came across real close. Michael's actually done a good. His car looks good.
Darrell, they came across 4/100ths of a second apart.
Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty impressed with Michael's car because he's come up through there pretty well.
Got one car coming to pit road. I believe that's Ricky Rudd in the 28 car.
What happens to Sadler here? Well, there he goes.
Looks like he got in just way too high.
And that's what I saw. When I looked up, he was high already on the outside going around, looked like. Don't think he got any help.
During the caution, Newman and Harvick having a discussion under the caution flag about whose fender fits in first.
As close as they was racing, who would know what it's about?
More in a moment.